Hello and welcome to World Talks. My name is Jakub Kaprzewski and we record at the Ukraine Recovery Conference in Gdańsk, where Polish-Ukrainian defense cooperation is a big topic. And on that topic, I would like to welcome in the studio Jan Grabowski, Vice President of the Management Board, Polish Armament Group, also known under the Polish acronym PGZ. Hello and welcome.
Hello, Jacob.
Great day for PGZ because your company actually signed a deal with a Ukrainian company that specializes in drones called TAF Industries. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, it's a great day not only for PGZ, but it's a great day for the cooperation between Poland and Ukraine, and not only Poland, but also, I would say, the world. We are here in Gdańsk at URC 2026, where more than 6,000 participants from 60 countries, more than 20 official governmental delegations, and also, of course, industries from all over the world, including Polish defense industry represented here, not only by PGZ, but mainly by PGZ, as PGZ is the state-owned group, which consists of 60 companies, and we are here as we have signed the letter of intent with TAF Industries from Ukraine. TAF is our partner for some time already. We are discussing with them the production of drones here in Poland for Ukraine and for Poland. Well, drones have changed completely the theater, the world theater in Ukraine. It is not only now about artillery and heavy tanks, it is all about drones in different ways, on flying ones, the land
different
ones.
Shapes and sizes.
Exactly.
So the agreement you signed with TAF,
yeah.
Does it concern a specific kind of a drone or all possible drones?
No, it's about joint production of Ukrainian technology drones here in Poland, both for Ukraine and for Poland, because we are talking about 50-50 production split, or even more, let's see, about different type of drones. TAF, they are very good in small drones, which are now one of the main topics in the Ukrainian theater, and this is something that we lack. So we would like to talk about it with TAF in more from general to more concrete terms, and to begin the production here in Poland.
Are we talking about FPV drones?
Also
So
about FPV
a couple
drones.
of kinds, but
Yeah.
small drones in
Yeah.
general. Okay.
But it's not only about TAF Industries here, and if I add, of course, we have signed an LOI with TAF, but also we are talking with the state-owned industry, represented here by Ukroboronprom. We had a meeting today with both MODs, Polish and Ukrainian MOD, and also both state-owned industries, and we are going into a phase of very close discussions and signing some documents. We've been planning to sign them here at URC, but we need to focus more in detail and then sign something in the nearest future. And we are talking also with our Ukrainian partners, because we already have sold this in the last 12 months for more than $50 million. We have signed some elements of the ammunition which is in production in Ukraine. So Ukraine fights against the aggressor from Russia with its missiles and ammunition, which is in production because of the very crucial Polish content which is inside.
So
this.
Polish Armament Group provides components for missiles produced by the Ukrainian defense industry. Okay.
Exactly.
But let's just stick for a second with drones, because we've been interviewing Ukrainian officials at the URC and asked what is the biggest challenge faced by the Ukrainian defense industry. They've mentioned scaling up. Of course, they are touting and stressing that they already scaled up the production of all kinds of armaments. However, they see need to scale up even more. So I understand that this deal that the Polish Armaments Group, the letter of intent, signed with TAF Industries, this feeds into this discussion of how to scale up and increase Ukrainian defense production, because some of those production will eventually find its way into the front line.
Yeah, well, we are in discussions with Ukraine, our Ukrainian partners, both from industry and from government, and we are talking about the scaling up or changing the place of the production for the last, I would say 12 months, because I think that we started last time after URC 2025 in Rome. We started discussions, we went to Kyiv a few times, we had our Ukrainian partners in Poland in different locations. So we are talking about the scaling up because, an example, the Ukroboronprom, so the state-owned industry of Ukraine, during the war, we had the panel discussion today, and they said that they scaled up 10 times, that they had a revenue of $500 million, and now it's $5 billion. So this is 10 times bigger, and of course this is still not enough, and of course we are here to help our Ukrainian partners and to build, to change the production place from Ukraine, or to leave it in Ukraine, but also to produce in Poland. And we are talking not only about drones, or if it's drones, it's different type of drones, from FPVs up to deep strike, and also when it comes to missile systems, also we are talking about scaling up the production, both for Poland and for Ukraine, and also for exports.
Okay, I think from a perspective of a person who follows developments on Ukrainian-Russian front line, but doesn't follow it very often and in a very deep manner, a question may pop up in their mind, because we've been talking about drones changing the face of war in Ukraine since 2 years, I guess, for 2 years now. So the question, and even then in 2020, 2023, 2024, Ukrainians have been saying, help us scale up production because this is the new weapon that is going to change this war. We already know that, but we need to produce more. So why have those agreements now? Why haven't they been signed 2 years before?
Well, also,
has some threshold been passed? Some people got the impression that manufacturing weapons for Ukraine, but in Europe, was a no-go 2 years before.
and this is true. I would say that the philosophy of Ukrainian government have changed. When we've been to Ukraine last year in October, there was a big defense conference which has been opened by President Zelensky, and they have announced a program called Zbroja. And Zbroja is the program which led the Ukrainian industry to export, or to give the export license to its partner outside Ukraine. During the war, all over the world, the discussion is quite clear. When the war is coming, or when the war is already in place, you do not share the technologies. You have to produce for your own capacity and the own capabilities, and they should stay at home. In Ukraine, we can all see that, of course, as the theater and the operations are changing almost every day, they need to scale up because there are so many different interceptors on the theater every day. So there was a strategical decision taken by the government, that the government let the companies to share the IPRs of the products, so they would be able to be produced outside of Ukraine. So this is the answer why it has not been done 2 years ago, but now it's already takes place. And so it's not only Poland. I would say that also in the UK, this comes out from the discussions with our Ukrainian partners today, that in the UK, in example, this production of drones is already going on massive scale.
So it's also a case of them willing to share the technology, which may not have been the case 2 years before.
Exactly.
Okay. Polish Armament Group mainly deals with vehicles, heavy military vehicles, artillery systems, and so on. So big stuff, generally big stuff. Drones are small. So my question for a company like yours would be, how can you use your manufacturing experience for drones? Or do you have to learn the process from the ground up?
No, we don't have to. We don't have to learn the process from the ground up, because we are already in the process. There is a company in PGZ Group called WZL2 in Bydgoszcz, in the north part of Poland, where two types of drones, Vizier and Orlik, are in production. And Vizier is a drone which is already on the equipment list of the Polish Army, and we are in the delivery phase of these drones. Also, WZL2 is quite experienced when it comes to...
These are reconnaissance drones, right?
Yeah, yeah. Vizier is a reconnaissance drone, but we are in WZL2 in Bydgoszcz, wojskowe zakłady lotnicze, military air facilities. For decades, they've been responsible for maintenance of the fleet of the Polish jets. Polish jets, I mean the Russian jets, MiG-29s, and then F-16s, which are on the equipment list of the Polish Air Force. And WZL2 have changed from the maintenance facilities to the production facilities. So Vizier is in production, and of course we are open to produce more drones there, not only from Ukraine, but also from our other industrial partners from the US and from Europe. So this is not something new for us, but of course we are one of the leaders when it comes to doing the hard stuff, as you said.
Okay.
So armored vehicles, artillery systems, and we are in massive production of it because of the safe mechanism. We have signed in May deals worth more than 100 billion zlotys, so more than 20 billion euros. And in the next 4.5 years, we would be in massive production of armored vehicles, artillery systems, 155 millimeter ammunition for the artillery, also missile systems. We are now also in discussions with the Americans when it comes to some facilities where we might be maintaining the missile systems. So also the new age systems are also in production. Polish Armament Group is not only heavy stuff, which are just armored vehicles. So drones, it's not something new to us, but we would like to open the new facilities when it comes to massive productions of drones, because we know that for nowadays, we do not produce drones in a scale that we would like to.
When you think about this letter of intent, and let's just say that it transitions from being just a letter of intent to an actual deal with TAF, and that you secure a contract with the Ukrainian military, possibly maybe in the future with the Polish military, what numbers are we talking about in terms of monthly output of those drones, yearly, annual output of those drones?
It's too early to say, but when it comes to FPV drones, of course, we are talking about thousands of these drones, because there are thousands of these drones which are in use every day and every week in Ukraine. And as we are all preparing ourselves for a future that might come, which is a war theater not only in Ukraine but also in the European territory, we have to learn every day what is going on there, and to put it here into our facilities and to our minds, and also to multiplicate, just as you said about scaling up the production. So we are talking about thousands of these drones that would be in massive production in Poland.
So once Poland manages to actually set up production of drones, but like in a big way in Poland, I'm thinking about the development of this equipment, because right now Ukrainians are developing them as they use them.
Yeah.
They see some shortcomings and they just patch them up and release a new version. Do you see anything similar happening in Poland? Because when you are an industry player, you need to secure a contract, then the money starts flowing in, and then you can start thinking about developing the product, right? But in Ukraine's situation, it's kind of different. The money still has to flow. However, the needs are so acute that they just have to do it. But once we set up production here, are we going to develop them? What's the plan here?
Well, we are developing our products every day. It's not only about drones. An example, there is the Piorun missile, one of the best examples of how Polish defense industry works and how it has changed. Piorun missile was not even a common name known to anyone besides Polish military and Polish industry. But then, when the Russian aggression against Ukraine started, we have sent some of Piorun missiles, and since then we have sold hundreds and thousands of them, not only to Ukraine but also to our allies in Europe and in the US. This is a small anti-air missile, which is not expensive comparing to our competitors, and it does a significant job on the war theater. And when we are selling now Piorun 1 to our allies and to our partners, we are thinking about Piorun 2. The same thing is when it comes to armored vehicles. We are in mass production now of Borsuk, the infantry fighting vehicle, which is in production in HSW, Huta Wola, for Poland. We have signed a contract for 118 pieces. Now, thanks to safe mechanisms, we have signed a contract for another 146 pieces, and we are working already now when it comes to the heavy infantry fighting vehicles, so some heavy stuff that would be based on the Borsuk that we have now. And Borsuk, we are producing it into infantry fighting vehicles, so we have 30
because
millimeter.
We have to translate it into English.
Exactly.
Beaver.
It's a Beaver. The English translation is Beaver. So it's a heavy, it's infantry fighting vehicle, which is quite light comparing to a tank, but still it's quite a heavy armored vehicle. And we produce it with a 30mm turret. But we are also thinking about export markets, so there is a different 30mm turret from Slovakia. But based on Borsuk, based on Beaver, we are thinking about the new versions of this vehicle. So of course we develop every day, because we in armored vehicles world and also in armored world, you cannot be thinking only about one product for one certain customer. You have to think about different versions for different customers, and this is what we are doing. And the same thing will be with drones.
Jan Grabowski, Vice President of the Management Board, Polish Armament Group, PGZ. Thank you very much for coming to the studio.
Thank you very much, Jacob, for this interview.
And you've watched World Talks. My name is Jakub Kaprzewski from Ukraine Recovery Conference. Stay tuned for more of our coverage of this gathering of world leaders in Gdańsk, Poland.